Hello, good evening, namaste. This is Dr. Aparna. I am your emotional healing synergist. I am an Ayurvedic psychotherapist, a passionate infopreneur, medical writer, and a budding YouTuber. So, in my pursuit to address, promote, and propagate Ayurveda and psychotherapy globally, I come up with discussions every week on Ayurveda, mental health, psychotherapy, and related aspects. So, in this process, I also review books related to Ayurveda, mental health, psychotherapy, and self help mental health books. You know, this is a form of emotional metamorphosis. See, books can help you in different ways. So this is a form of emotional metamorphosis. I have talked about it in detail in another video. You can check that video. You'll find in my YouTube channel and LinkedIn. And today, in continuation to the previous discussion, previously in two of my sessions we were discussing a book in detail called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, that is authored by Lori Gottlieb. And we had discussed, why, what are the reasons to read this book, what is this book all about. And you know this journey of Lori Gottlieb is a psychotherapist, is a therapist herself, who who is in a journey as a therapy client and a therapist. In we get to see both the sides of the story in this book. So if you want to know in detail about the first two aspects, we were discussing the case studies as well. We discussed about Lori Gottlieb, who's the author of the book. We discussed she getting into going to a therapist, she herself being a therapist, going to a therapist, and then she as a therapist seeing therapy clients at her clinic. So we had discussed what are the reasons to read the book. If you want, I would recommend, please refer to the previous session. Please refer to the previous session, previous two videos we've made on the subject. So I would recommend you to watch those two first, then you switch to this one, so that you can be able to better understand what we are talking about. So people ask me, why do you do, with curiosity, that why do you do in detail book synopsis and book reviews? Because some, at times I feel that everybody's style is different. Everybody do not want to go to the books to read them, and everybody is not as avid readers. Everyone doesn't want to involve, engross into the books and every kind of book. But at times I also feel like listening to some kinds of audio books, if they are in detail, um, I feel it is good. Even though I'm an avid reader, I do like listening to audio podcasts of the books. So I do it in detail as per my understanding and key takeaways and the summaries, so that people would find it, helpful. And if it could help at least a few people, I would, you know, uh, consider that my work is successful. The impact. what I want to provide is, successful. That's why I go through the book, the synopsis very much in detail. So let's begin with today. We had discussed two case studies till now. We had discussed about the author's case study and another case study, which was John's case study. Initially, when John approached Lori, the author, he felt that everybody around him was stupid and he was only the intelligent person in at least in his vicinity. So John's case study, and we then found out what was going into John's life. So, John's case study is a poignant example of the profound impact that therapy can have on individuals experiencing deep grief and loss. Here in John's case, who have missed, John has lost a 6-year-old son in a car accident. So that was the deepest issue which was bothering him, and that was not the complaint he actually came for. So this case study, illustrates the potential for healing, for growth, for the rediscovery of meaning and purpose in life. So John's journey serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity. So, the journey of finding meaning after a devastating loss demonstrates the potential for personal growth and transformation even in the face of unimaginable pain. John was going through an unimaginable pain, yet, in the end, you know he was a Hollywood he was a Hollywood writer. He wrote a fabulous book and fabulous script, and which was produced so even in an unimaginable phase of experiencing pain. So in the end, the author has written that John's journey of finding meaning was really important lesson for all of us. So meaning and purpose in life. So our next case here is Rita, or this is a pseudonym actually. The names of the patient are different, but in the book it is mentioned as Rita. So Rita is a elderly woman. So she is 69 years old, who grapples with unresolved anger towards her, and for various issues. We'll see her case study in detail. This anger has resulted in strained relationships with her family. So, Rita is 69 years old, and when she starts therapy, she finds, she tells the author, her therapist, that she plans to end her life if it doesn't improve within a year. She is planning to commit suicide if her life doesn't get any better. So she tells that to her therapist, this is the last resort why I have come for. I've given myself, a year time, and if my life did not improve within a year, I am planning to commit suicide. So she says that. So Rita's case was, actually Rita's been divorced 3 times and has actually has 4 children, but none of her children are living with her. The one thing she has going for her in her life is her art. She What she does is she chalks means she draws her. She is an artist. She chalks her sad circumstances up to her bad choices in the past. So you know her first husband was a lawyer, and she says she starts sharing her case history in this. Then and he was in, at first she thought he was very charming. Then he started working late, drinking and beating her and their children. So, and Rita wanted to get out, but she felt that for her children she had no choice, but she had to stay. And she also dropped out of college to look after the kids. And so uh, you know um, then she also, what she did was she started drinking. She confesses that, and all these were happening in her life, and Rita did eventually leave that person. So by then her children were teenagers. They were already messed up, and the children were also getting into drugs and self-harm. So strangely, the children hated her and wanted her to be, back with her father, their father. So after Lita left her first husband, he went on his best behavior and provided for the children financially. So she started questioning if she made the right choice or right decision in leaving. So after that, one on other things goes on, and encouragingly as the year goes on, Rita makes some remarkable positive changes in her life. So she gets close to a lovely neighboring family with two young children who look up to her, and she's basically telling her story, that how she met, the father in the family also helps her to set up a website to promote and sell her art. And Rita even gets another love interest with a neighbor. But even after all this, but Rita feels like an imposter, like amongst all these people, unworthy of all the good now in her life. Even though some things are getting better, she feels that she is not worthy of whatever good is going in her life. So the author explains that people who have traumatic histories tend to afraid of joy and are always waiting for something to go wrong. Because everything was wrong in her past, now also she is always expecting that something is going to go wrong. So Rita experienced joy as anticipatory pain rather than pleasure. She can't forgive herself for the terrible things she has done to her children, because she, anyways, left her children, and because the children didn't wanted to stay with her. As um, she feels that she won the lottery, but she stole the ticket. So she also pushes the new love she found away. um, but then she's jealous when that new friend has got another girlfriend. So she's very confused here in this stage. So what do we learn from her case? In the end, eventually what happens is, she continues, she moves on with with her art. And that art, after the therapy, her life gets better, and she drops the plan of suicide. So what do we learn from the conversations, and what are the insights for us mentioned in this book? See, unresolved anger and grief. So the conversation was like, Rita opens up about the deep seated anger she feels towards her parents, especially, her mother who passed away years ago. So there were different things Rita had, not only about her relationships now, her relationships previously with her parents as well. So, what this highlights is, the author says that the impact of unresolved emotions on one's relationships and well being. So it shows that acknowledging and processing deep seated emotions can be a crucial step towards healing. Then that means if there are any unresolved emotions, or you have to process those, communicate and process those emotions, because that is the first step towards healing. So, and patterns in the family dynamics. See, the Rita and the author explores the patterns in Rita's family. Particularly the dynamic between Rita and her parents during her childhood. So, this shows us how family dynamics and early experiences can have a long lasting impact on one's emotional well being. So, this emphasizes the potential for therapy to provide a space for understanding and healing family related wounds. They were discussing who's wrong, who's right. We talked about idiot compassion. If you want, go refer to my previous video if you want to know about what is idiot compassion and what is wise compassion. So, the complexity of grief and loss. So, here, her Rita here, grief and loss, because she has lost her loved ones, her mother and father. See, Rita also discusses her complicated feelings towards her parents. She loves her parents, she is sad for their loss, and she resents. So, you know the complexity of grief and the range of emotions that accompany with it. So this emphasizes there is no right way to feel after a loss, and that therapy can provide a space to navigate these emotions. And then forgiveness and acceptance. So, forgiveness, so she struggles to forgive her parents, her husband, and what we can explore from this is the power of forgiveness and acceptance in finding peace and moving forward from painful experiences. We can't change the past, but we can change the present. So we cannot also predict future, but only thing we can do is the in the present. So this helps in this explores the power of forgiveness and acceptance in finding peace and moving forward from painful experiences. This emphasizes that forgiveness is a personal process that can lead to healing. And then communication and boundaries. So she also discusses her challenges in communicating with her adult children who are now grown up, and setting healthy boundaries. So the importance of here effective communication and boundary setting in maintaining healthy relationships even in later stages of life. So to what extent can she interfere in her children's life? To She can be included in her life, she wants to be included in her life, but to an extent that does not cause an intrusion or interference in her children's life. So all this the case study, it would be better if you go through the book once, but it demonstrates how therapy can provide tools for family, improving family dynamics. So for us, what are what are some solutions offered? Like in Rita's case, there are complex emotions, complexity of emotions. Here is human emotions, particularly in the context of family relationships. So, this emphasizes that therapy can provide a safe space to explore and navigate these complex feelings. When she approached a therapist, she could process the feelings. Then the power of forgiveness. For Rita's journey, as I said, towards forgiveness and acceptance, shows the transformative potential of letting go of anger and resentment. So, forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. Somewhere I had heard that forgiveness is not for that person you forgive, forgiveness is for yourself. Because every time, if you don't forgive that person, you keep thinking of that person in your mind, and you are being your emotions grapple there, you struggle with processing the emotions. So forgiving is, a gift that you can give yourself. And breaking generational patterns. So her children especially are from different generations. So Rita's willingness to examine and address the long standing family dynamics highlights the potential for therapy to break generational patterns of communication and behavior. So all these things. So Rita's case study here serves as a poignant exploration of the long lasting impact of family dynamics on our emotional well being. So, this highlights the potential for healing, growth, and transformation of relationships through therapy. So what this is doing is, we don't have to have the stigma for therapy, or what is going to happen, just humanizing the therapy, just saying that therapy is normal. And the next, so here some of the things, unresolved emotions. So Rita's case for us, underscores the impact of unresolved emotions from the past on one's present relationship. So she is not able to create a new relationship because of her past, impact of the unresolved emotions from the past relationship. So, and as I said, the power of vulnerability. So, Rita's willingness to be vulnerable and confront her pain, is a testament to her, to the strength it takes to face difficult emotions. It is not easy to put out, and the pain in front of someone, here in the case therapist. So this this also demonstrates the importance of a therapist providing a safe and non-judgmental space. Our next case study, this is Rita's case study. Our next therapy client for the author is Julie. So Julie is a young woman who struggles with commitment issues in her romantic relationships. She struggles to trust and often sabotages her chances at lasting love. She's a 33-year-old college professor. This reason she came for here is she receives a cancer diagnosis, a terminal illness, after returning, from her honeymoon. She and her new husband are forced to come to terms with this, that she has a terminal illness, that is cancer, and they struggle with decisions over whether to start a family as they'd always dreamed of. They always wanted to start a family. So, but she's suffering from a terminal illness, cancer. See, this is current story. There is a background to it as well. So, at one point, Julie decides to work, and Julie's hopes are temporarily raised by the news that her treatment has been successful and cancer has gone away. So she's taking treatment for cancer, and she has come to therapy. She even tries to start having a family, but the cancer sadly returns and gradually wears her down. So she gets a news that her treatment is successful and the cancer has gone, but cancer relapses when she tries of starting, starting to, plan to have a family. So, in a particularly vulnerable sessions, she says that she bets her husband wishes she would just die already. So she thinks that her husband, feels that if it is better she, if she dies, because she has problems with trust. After all, he is in his 30s, and and they are newly married and they wanting to start a family, while his peers, colleagues, friends are moving forward with their life. He can't. And he also knows these are all her feelings, which she discusses with the therapist. What Julie feels of her husband, this is not what he feels, this is what she feels. Because all his peers are moving forward with their lives, he can't. Yet he also knows that his time with Julie is temporary. When asked if she feels anger or jealousy towards her husband, uh, she says that she does feel, jealous and anger. She further admits, and she secretly says that she's angry at everyone who gets to live a life longer than her. She feels, why only me? Why am I affected with this terminal illness? Why am I going to die and all the other people will survive? So, therapist assures her that this feeling is okay. And despite her jealousy, Julie resolves to help him find a new wife. She's okay to him being married to another woman, her husband. So, and we also, in while Julie and the author are discussing, we also get to hear about Julie's frustration when others say meaningless, platitudes, or avoid the topic of her dying altogether. Whenever she want to discuss with someone of her dying, people avoid that topic. So worst of all is when someone avoids her so that they don't have to get in an awkward conversation to begin with. So author observes these actions are done to protect, the speaker, but it leaves the person experiencing the adversity feeling angry and alone. People do that because they do not want to address the cancer aspect with her. But this, feels her more, more pain, more feeling angry, and she feels isolated and alone. Instead, she thinks that people would just say, things like, I'm so sorry. She feels that people, instead of avoiding, could say, I'm so sorry, I feel so helpless, but I care about you. Or even just, I have no idea what to say. So she says that people started avoiding me when they came to know about the cancer, because they do not want to discuss that topic. So she says whatever she feels. And here, from the conversations, what are the lessons for, us? The patterns in relationship, like, see, Julie discusses her dating history, and she also discusses her past dating history. This is the present, when she is married and she has a terminal illness. She also has the background to it, why she does have, trust issues. So she discusses her dating history and recurring patterns she notices in her relationships, particularly her tendency to push partners away. It is her tendency because she does not trust people. Um, so this highlights for us the role of self awareness in the therapy. She is very well aware of herself, It shows that recognizing and understanding our own patterns is a crucial step towards making positive changes in our relationship. I've spoken about this earlier as well. When clients come to therapists, in the first few sessions, they might hide some information which is important because they feel that therapist would judge them. So self awareness and recognizing and understanding and sharing of own of the patterns of the emotions is the first step, or is the important crucial step towards making positive changes. If you don't understand, if you don't recognize, the comprehension is not there, the self awareness and the self reflection is not there, you cannot make a positive change in the relationship. And fear of vulnerability. See, Julie expresses her fear of being vulnerable and the anxiety she experiences when it comes to opening up emotionally to a partner. She doesn't open up, she talks about openly about her emotions to her partner, to her husband or her ex partners. So, this underscores or highlights the importance of trust and vulnerability in building intimate relationships. So you have to openly communicate with your partner or your significant other to for them to understand and trust. And this emphasizes that therapy can provide a safe space to explore and challenge deep seated fears and insecurities. Next is exploring attachment style. See, Julie and the author Lori discuss attachment theory and how it may relate to Julie's difficulty in forming secure and lasting connections. So, this introduces the concept of attachment styles and their impact on adult relationships. So, understanding one's attachment style can be a valuable tool for personal growth and relationship development. So, when there are romantic relationships involved, uh, open communication and knowing, so understanding one's attachment style. So how will your partner, emotional attachment, I'm talking about emotional attachment here. If you know how the partner can emotionally be attached uh, to you, so if you kind of explore that, that could be a valuable tool for personal growth and relationship development as well. So breaking down barriers here. So Julie and the author work together to identify the emotional barriers, that are preventing her from fully engaging in her relationship. She is in the relationships, but she doesn't trust and finds the other person always wrong, even without communicating. So this demonstrates that the therapeutic process of uncovering and addressing emotional, underlying emotional blocks. So all this, this shows how therapy can provide the tools to dismantle barriers to intimacy. And the role of trust in intimacy. So Julie discusses her struggles with trust and how it has affected her ability to form meaningful connections. So this highlights the fundamental role of trust in intimate relationships. It shows that building trust requires time, communication, and a willingness to be vulnerable. So, this requires time. So, the trust in the romantic relationships requires time and effective consistent communication and willingness to be vulnerable. Sometimes you have to be willing to be vulnerable. So then exploring the family dynamics here. So Julie and Lori, the author, delves into Julie's family history and how her upbringing may have influenced her approach to relationship, why she does not trust relationships. So This shows the importance, or this emphasizes the importance of understanding how our early experiences and family dynamics can shape our patterns in adulthood. So this emphasizes that therapy can provide a space for exploring and processing these influences. So, for us, some solutions. What are the solutions given here? The importance of self reflection. Julie's case highlights the value of self reflection in therapy. So, it shows that taking the time to explore one's feelings, motivations, and patterns can lead to greater self awareness and personal growth. Building trust gradually. Julie's journey emphasizes that trust is built over time through consistent and honest communication. It demonstrates that patience and understanding are key in developing secure and lasting connections. So, the therapeutic relationship, here is the dynamics between Julie and the author. So this also serves as a model of trusting, model for a trusting and supportive relationship. See, here also she trusts the therapist and explains everything to her. So this shows us the power of a strong therapeutic alliance in the healing process. So there must be a strong therapeutic alliance between a therapist and a therapy client. So empowering clients to make choices. So or the author Lori encourages Julie to take agency in her relationships and make choices that align to her own desires and values. So this reinforces to us, the idea that individuals have power to shape their own romantic journeys. So, and Julie's case study serves as a poignant exploration of the challenges individuals may face in forming and maintaining, intimate relationships. So, this highlights the potential for personal growth, self discovery, and the development of healthier relationship patterns through therapy. So Julie's journey offers us, insights for both therapy seekers and therapists. So particularly in the realm of this story is in the realm of love and romantic relationships and intimacy. So here lessons for us is patterns and self sabotage. See, Julie actually what she does is this case highlights the role of patterns in our lives and the way they can lead to self sabotage because of her trust issues, and she is self sabotaging. That means she is harming her own relationships. So this shows the potential for self awareness and change through therapy. So, as we can say, let's go to the next case study. This is we completed Julie's case study. Next therapy client of the author is Charlotte. So, Charlotte is a 25-year-old woman. So, on the surface, seems to have a good life. She has a good life because superficially, it feels like she has a good life. She has a stable job, a boyfriend, and a circle of friends. However, internally, beneath the surface, she experiences feelings of anxiety, restlessness, and an inclination towards excessive drinking. She started excessive drinking. So here what are the conversations that go on in with with the therapy client and the author? So Charlotte discusses her feelings of anxiety and restlessness, particularly in relation to her job and social life. So she's very much anxious here. She also shares her tendency to drink excessively as a coping mechanism, as a way to cope, because she feels very much, she has feelings of anxiety, you know with in relation to her job and social life. She feels that drinking alcohol is a way to cope. So what this tells us is This emphasizes the common experience of young adults who may feel pressure to have everything figured out while also struggling with a sense of purposelessness. Even though she's working her life, she has a boyfriend, she has a social circle of friends, she feels that she has no purpose. The sense of purpose is missing in her life. So this also, highlights for us the importance of acknowledging and addressing underlying emotions and coping mechanisms and self-destructive behavior. What she is doing as a coping mechanism, she is using alcohol as a coping mechanism, and that is destructing her. That is a self-destructive behavior. So Charlotte and the author delve into Charlotte's, coping mechanisms, including her tendency to use alcohol as a way to escape from her feelings. She just wants to escape from her feelings. She want to avoid addressing her feelings. That's why she drinks as a coping mechanism. So this shows that the potential dangers of using self-destructive behaviors as a means of coping with emotional distress. So this underscores the importance of healthier coping strategies. She could have adopted to some healthier coping strategies and the potential role of therapy in developing them. So next is navigating transitions and expectations. So here Charlotte expresses her uncertainty about her career path. So she does not have a sense of meaning or purpose and a sense of being fulfilled in her current job. She has a sense of being unfulfilled. So she doesn't have a sense of purpose. So this addresses the challenges faced by many young adults. Many young adults have this challenge that even though they are working, having a good job, they don't find, it meaningful and the sense of, purposelessness. So this addresses the challenges faced by many young adults in navigating the transition to adulthood and the pressure to meet societal expectations. So it emphasizes the potential for therapy to provide guidance and support during these transitional periods. So what should we do? Identifying underlying emotions. That means Charlotte and Lori here, the author, work together to identify the underlying emotions driving, Charlotte's anxiety and restlessness. They try to delve deeper. So this, highlights the importance of self-awareness and understand one's emotional landscape. So it shows that therapy can provide a space for individuals to explore and make sense of their feelings. So, what are the notable insights for us? What can we learn and solutions? So, exploring, coping mechanisms. So, positive coping mechanisms here. Charlotte's case underscores the importance of examining and adjusting coping mechanisms, especially, when they involve self-destructive behavior. It emphasizes the potential for therapy to provide alternative, healthier strategies. So, validation of young adult struggles. So, Charlotte's story validates the challenges faced by young adults in finding their place in the world. So it emphasizes that seeking support and exploring, one's feelings are important steps in this process. So setting realistic expectations. So Charlotte's case for us highlights the importance of setting realistic expectations for oneself, particularly in a phase of life marked by significant transitions. So encouraging self reflection and goal setting. So Laurie encourages Charlotte to reflect on her values, her aspirations, her goals, and at the end she finds the purpose and meaning of her life. So this shows the potential for therapy to provide a framework for personal growth and self discovery. When she leaves, when her therapy ends, she finds the purpose of her life. She finds various positive coping techniques and strategies and mechanism, not to escape from her feelings and emotions. So, for us, Charlotte's case study, offers valuable insights into emotional challenges faced by young adults, particularly as they navigate the complexities of early adulthood. So we see here, the importance of, the potential, the therapy can provide, that is support, guidance, a space for self exploration during the crucial phase of life. These are the four case studies discussed in the book. So reasons to read is what is, insight into therapy. We get what is the insight into therapy, and emotional resonance. Therapists emotionally resonate with the therapy clients, the humor and wit, and breaking down the stigma. So, for therapy seekers, demystifying the therapy, understanding human relationships, normalizing vulnerability, coping with loss and grief, self reflection and growth, developing resilience, navigating change, acceptance and forgiveness, mental health advocacy, or all those things. For the therapists who are therapists watching this, how to build an empathy and connection with, the clients, the therapist can glean valuable insights into the importance of empathy, genuine connection, active listening in building a strong therapeutic relationship, counter transference and boundaries. The author openly discusses her own experiences with counter transference, providing therapists with a real world example of how to navigate their own emotions and set appropriate boundaries. And holistic approach to therapy, the effectiveness of holistic approach to therapy, considering not only the psychological but also the emotional, social, and physical aspects of a personal well-being. So the therapist's inner world. So this book sheds lights on the therapist's own experiences and vulnerabilities. So emphasizing that therapists are human too, and they can have problems too. So this can be very reassuring reminder for therapists that self-care and personal growth are important, are crucial. Next is navigating difficult conversation. So through the author's experiences, therapists can gain insight into how to navigate into difficult conversations with clients, especially when facing resistance or challenging emotions. And then celebrating, progress and resilience. This book highlights the incredible resilience and progress that clients can achieve through therapy. This can serve as a source of motivation and encouragement for therapists. Next is the Lori, the author's key takeaways. That is, the therapist is a human too. Through her own experience as a therapy client, the author learns that therapists are also human beings with their own struggles, with their own emotions and personal journeys. This humanization of therapists breaks down the barriers and creates a more authentic therapeutic relationship. And the power of vulnerability. So Lori is the author. So author comes to understand the transformative, power of vulnerability, both as a therapist and a therapy client. So opening up and being vulnerable allows for deeper connections and more meaningful insights, acceptance and change. So Laurie learns that acceptance is often the first step towards meaningful change. So acknowledging and embracing, one's true self, flaws and all, can lead to personal growth and transformation. So the therapeutic process, from the client's perspective, being a therapy client herself, Laurie gains insights into the client's perspective. She learns about the vulnerability, courage, and self reflection required to make progress in therapy. So, from at this point, we come to the end of the session. And this actually there are many more insights we can gain from this book, her experience. I will talk about this in some other session. If you want that, please mention in the comment section as well. So this is the full book synopsis of the book. Maybe you should talk to someone, and I think I have I think made an effort to explain kind of all the case studies, and it was truly what I felt and what are the points I made note of to discuss with you, you all. So let me know your key takeaways. How did you feel of the book review or the book summary? And if you have any queries, let me know in the comment section. If you want me to address or review or summarize any mental health regarding self-help books, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for staying tuned, and namaste for today.